So how does agent-based modeling help to analyze post-merger integration?
Well, agent-based modeling helps because it's very similar to the real world. So in agent-based modeling, we have actors that is in the virtual world that behave in the computer as we do as human beings to some degree. It's all simplified because it's just a model, but it's very easy to communicate to non-computer people and technical people about how the model works because we can all relate to it very well. You could also have other models that are mathematical in nature, and it's very hard to communicate to people about that. But with agent-based modeling, you know, a person is an entity in the computer that behaves like us. In the M&A situation, I argue that it's about communications between actors. So in the computer, we can take two agents and have them exchange information in the computer, like we do here in person, or record it on a video and watch it later. So because it's very similar to the world that we live in, we can you know, build models that people can relate to. And then in an M&A situation, it's really, I'm just modeling an organization, how an organization behaves, but I put it in a situation, special situation, where it's two organizations, groups of people, groups of actors or groups of agents that know nothing about one another. And so they really start from scratch when it comes to communicating information. And the degree to which they're able to communicate that information to one another, from one group to the other, so that they become one, then that's a good performance with the integration challenge in M&A. So.
Thanks. There's another question is why is it the Holy Grail of business simulations?
Well, because merger integration, M&A, after the deal is done, is one of the biggest problems we have in organizations, in management. And that is because it's a very complex thing to manage. Two groups coming together and becoming one. And every situation is different. And M&A is very complex because it's got things like personal opinions involved, situations, family matters, and all that all play into whether an actor, an agent, is going to cooperate or be productive in a merger situation. Think about it. You know, when a merger comes, everybody has all these me questions, and so in the computer we can get to that detail and build models and simulations, and it's the Holy Grail because it's such a big problem and it's so complex. We haven't really scratched the surface on how to manage the situation. So agent-based modeling is just ripe for it, and it's able to capture all that complexity without forgetting anything, and then give us a view of the future. Just as in the lecture here today, in the workshop, I show a diagram of a typhoon or a hurricane passing through the United States or in Asia, and you see the trajectory of that. And so if we can plot the trajectory of an organization that's going through a merger, managers have some sort of roadmap to be able to say, okay, we need to intervene, we need to fire people, we need to hire people, or whatever the case may be. So it's a Holy Grail because it's so complex, and agent-based modeling fits the situation quite well, in my view.
Okay, so last question. What is the main takeaway for participants in your model?
In the model, or participants in the workshop? In the workshop, well, there's actually two communities here in the workshop. There's the practitioner community, the people from the business world, and then we have who know nothing about agent-based modeling, and then we have a number of participants who are pretty familiar with agent-based modeling, and they just want to see, and they're unfamiliar with the phenomena of M&A integration. So I'm really trying to serve two communities here, and so when it comes to the practitioners who know M&A quite well, I'm trying to give them a way of simplifying the complexity of it in their mental models and actually see, get them to see that agent-based modeling can actually help them make decisions in the future. And with the other community, it just gives them another application of the agent-based modeling that they can think about.